Hello, everyone. I'm going to back into the big news. I wanted to start with this piece talking about the use of decoys by Ukraine to fool Russia's reconnaissance drones, real drones, and aviation. Since over the last couple of days, we talked a lot about the development of the military technology in Ukraine and some of the clever tricks being used to compensate for the fact that Ukraine is a smaller country with fewer people and to protect the lives of Ukrainian soldiers. So, this piece is on the BBC website. And again, if you are into technology, if you are into the history of development of warfare, this will definitely interest you. There have been two types of decoys used structurally. One is basically using the IKEA principle, packing it into a flat box. Sometimes it's a very big box, but it is something that packs flat, can be easily transported, and easily put up fairly quickly and looks, convincing from the air. So those have been supplied by the UK, and they look like the M777 howitzers. So very cool. And here's the thing. So you probably all know at this point that one of the things that Russia has been trying to do is to overwhelm Ukraine with the sheer number of projectiles. We're talking hundreds of drones, dozens of ballistic missiles. So if some of those are wasted on these decoys, even better. Another type of decoys are the blow-ups. Basically, think about the bouncy castle like that, but it looks like a tank. And when they're putting those together, it's not just things that look like weapons. It's not just things that look like armored vehicles, but there are things that look like buildings. There are things that look like outhouses. They lay down the ruts to make it more convincing, to create an illusion that some traffic has been there, some movement has been there, and of course, again, from the air and to a somewhat less sophisticated reconnaissance drone. This all looks like the real thing. We're going to need a lot more of those decoys. Of course, these have been wonderful when it comes to protecting military objects, army bases, weapon storages, armored vehicle parking areas, tank depots, all of that. The problem right now continues to be how to protect civilians. Because right now, and that is where we back into the big news story for today, civilians are at their most vulnerable. You cannot hide a city. Last night was something that my dad, when I talked to my parents this morning, described to me as St. Bartholomew's Massacre. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. It's historically important. Anyway, but in our vernacular, it's usually it's a term used to describe a big mess and something very, very scary. And this was definitely scary. European leaders are outraged. Basically, they're all saying the same thing, and they're right. That Putin is just mocking everybody else by unleashing these insane attacks that have nothing to do with Ukrainian military and have everything to do with terrorizing civilians. This last attack included, I think, my dad said something like 800 projectiles total. So this is the biggest one yet. Remember when we talked about these in June and July, they kept ratcheting up. They kept ramping up. They kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We were getting like a new record every few days. Well, this is the biggest one yet. As the result, I'm sorry, 4 people at least were killed and more than 40 were injured. Yep, here we go. There is the numbers: 810 drones and 13 missiles, including 4 Iskander ballistics and 9 Iskander-K cruise missiles. Now, air defenses managed to intercept the vast majority of the drones, 747 drones, and 4 of the missiles. But again, that still leaves enough. This was 9 missiles that actually made contact. Another thing that was unique about this is that this is the first time a government building in Kyiv has been damaged. So this is a big deal. And again, I think it's a form of mockery. I think this is Putin's way of saying, oh yeah, you're going to sanction me? You're going to scare me? You're going to try to frighten me? Fuck you. And fire at a government building in the middle of Ukrainian capital. In the past, I pointed out multiple times that Kyiv is not just the capital of Ukraine. Kyiv is a historic site with multiple UNESCO registered buildings there. Kyiv has a large concentration of churches and cathedrals. I'm thinking specifically Vladimir's Hill, but other areas as well that are 1,000 years old. It's the site of the history of Christianity in Ukraine and in Russia, because Russia originated from Ukraine. So the fact that they're firing at this place, all the while telling everybody that they're doing this for the sake of the values and to defend their faith, is truly disgusting. Even more disgusting is the fact that they continue to insist that they only targeted military and related infrastructure in these strikes. Well, apparently, a kindergarten located next to the home of one of our family members is a military target. Fortunately, the strike took place at night, so there were no children at the kindergarten. But the 2 buildings next to it both lost windows. Also, apparently, a 6-story apartment building was a military target, where the shock wave from the explosion ejected from the 6-story building a young woman and her 3-month-old baby. More to come.